Hey, brothers and sisters. I wanted to speak on something because I was in conversation earlier about, you know, uh, a friend of mine. He has a buddy, and his daughter's like 13 years old, and he was telling me some actions that was happening, and I said it's simple, brother. The daddy ain't there on both sides, on the boy's part and on her part. It's your friend's. It's got a lot to do with your friend too. And what's happening is, she's going to parties and stuff like that, man. And uh, you know, it's crazy, man. I remember the last. I never did well with parties, man. When I went to parties, it would be shootouts or people getting beat up. And the last party I was at, and this wasn't even a party like I was there partying. I was actually there with one of my, someone who was in a lowrider club. He was in a lowrider club with me, and he had brought me along. So I knew nobody at this party. And where I'm getting at is these little kids on this Facebook, mommy, daddy goes out of town, and they get to just inviting whoever, you know, and, get to mixing, little Bloods and Crips together and stuff like that. In that type of setting, uh, ain't no good. Because that's what happened. I was sitting there letting them know. I said, man, you know, that day I was there. Uh, the person who I even rode with, I didn't even drive my car that night because he wanted me to roll with him. I rode with him, and anyways, that night there were some Bloods and Crips, and they were youngsters. They were a bunch of youngsters, but they were still, real hyper and really, into that. So, anyways, uh, the lady who owned the house, she was on a bunch of dope. Like, she was strung out. And I felt bad for her son. That was the only person that stuck out to me. And I'm not like saying, talking bad about any of the kids that was there. Like, you feel what I'm saying? I love kids. But this little boy, because the lady who owned the house was, she was strung out, man. And the little boy, her son, was only like, man, this boy must have only been about 5, 6 years old, man. And anyways, gunshots went off. Uh, they was shooting from up the street to down the street, and the folks down the street was shooting up the street. So I come out, and I didn't even know the shooting was going on because we were inside of the house. Until I walked out the front door, and a little girl, she was probably like 15, 16, she ran up, holding her mouth. She had got shot in the mouth. And I look around and see a boy laid out in the street over to my left, and a boy laid out in the street over to my right. So immediately, this little 5-year-old, 6-year-old is on my heart heavy. So I go back into the house and I look for him. I go into this bedroom and he's right there. And he's frantic. I mean, now the gunshots is getting real. I mean, it's right up close. So I go into his room and I put him underneath his bed. His bed, you know what like a day bed is? Like girls usually have day beds, but he had like a boy day bed, where it has like a lot of space underneath the bed. Well, anyways, I put him up underneath there, and he was crying for his mom. And I just put cartoons on for him. And I laid right there in the middle of his bedroom in case someone came through that door. I could do whatever I could do to try to make it where this boy will be alright. Anyways, so yeah, we were just talking about, you know, parties and knowing where our kids are at, man. Because this world promotes being gang related and hustling and being a thug and being a pimp and promotes it cool. It makes it look cool. Even these rap artists with agendas that make it cool for boys liking boys and girls liking girls, and it's okay for a boy to have 3 girls and all that nonsense. But anyways, the thug mentality, and it's cool to be a gangster and this, that, and the other. And these little youngsters is out here trying to prove themselves to see who could be the hardest gangster, or, you know, be the craziest one, and this, that, and the other. And your daughter or your little son could be at one of them parties where it all seemed to be okay. Everyone was dancing and things like that. But it went down. And that's why I say we got to be around and in our daughters and our sons' lives. You feel what I'm saying? I don't play video games. I don't do none of that. You feel what I'm saying? I really get on a level with my kids. I do. And that's why they're more mature than most adults I knew. You feel what I'm saying? Like, they're on it. They're on it. And it's good to have them on it. Because then they know immediately, by seeing what they see in their surroundings, to absolutely stay from. And that's not like lassoing my kids up and making them do anything. It's just being real with them, because I lived that life. I lived that life 100%. And I'm here to guard them from that so they can be raised up as little wonderful young men of God. And I don't know. I got a lot on my mind. I know I might be, you know, going on a little tangent or whatever, but this was heavy on my heart. This was heavy on my heart. And, you know, it's real, man. Because your kid could leave the house and, you know, lie to you and say, you know, I'm going to be here, there, whatever, or whatnot, and really not be there, man. And then you get a call from the morgue saying that your little one's passed away from gunshot wounds or from being stomped in the head too many times. You know, it's happened to me, man. You know, being a kid, you know, and, you know, just being at a party, and like some guy will bring a girl, and that'll be the first time he has ever met her, and like they'll separate. I didn't even know they come with each other, and like we'd start talking, and I ended up right here, you know, because he got real mad and started shooting at me, and bullets was coming through, you know, like a tree and like a pillar type thing, and probably like going through the 2x4s through the pillar, you know, and shrapnel hit me all in my head, you know, knocking me down, and, you know, then I would start shooting, and it'd be crazy, man. You know, you got to think about that. You know, people are jealous, man. That jealous and pride will get you killed. And for some reason, man, I give my all, and I love. My intentions are genuine for folks, but I've always been hated on by someone that likes to hold on to that pride and jealousy. So I'm gonna get off of me. I'm sorry, but anyways, yeah, just know what your kids are doing.